Hello, and welcome to the Well-Appointed Desk's October Planner Setup video. As you can see, to start with today, I do not have my planner in its normal case because I am on the very last month for this, and it is so poofy now that actually keeping it in its leather case has actually become more of a challenge. So I think for the last month, I'm going to use it without the case. Part of the deal now is that as I'm getting to the back half of this, it's not laying flat. It's got all this. So I have to actually put like another notebook or something underneath whichever, this side in order to support it so that I can write across the page without having to like go down into a ditch. So we're going to use it naked. It's a little weird, but since the cover is just black and it's got my cute little crow on here, it seems very October spooky season appropriate. So we're gonna roll with it like this. Like I said, despite the fact that this is a 365, I somehow managed to use more pages. Part of it is like in the back of my book, I do like lots of people and do pen tests and little scratches and doodles and things like that. So I used up a few pages that way as well. So just a note, if you decide to use something like Astrology where you might be bullet journaling or organizing your content a little bit differently, that a 365 page book might actually not be enough pages for the whole year when you take into consideration adding things like an index or some collection pages or anything like that. It may only last you 8 months or 6 months or something, even doing a page a day for your actual content. So just to keep in mind. So let's get in to October, and I have not actually done any setup yet other than to just put in my calendar page for the month. I got I'm sure most of you all know, I got a color inkjet, like a high-end inkjet printer, so I can now print color for my insert. If you are a Patreon member, the B6 size insert is available free to download as part of your Patreon subscription. And this month I went ahead and did a version that is A5, but I did it as 2 separate sheets of paper, so it may be a bit more challenging to insert into a planner because you'll have to glue in both pages or tip in both pages. I traditionally tip in my pages using washi tape. So I have it on each side. So with 2 separate sheets, you'd end up needing to have a piece in the middle to keep that in place. But yeah, so I can set up the A5 size to print on standard A4 paper, but you might lose like the sort of full bleed quality that you get here in order to accomplish that. And most people in the US don't have A4 paper for their printer, so you'd end up having to print it like shrunk down to an 8.5 by 11 anyway. So I'm not sure if that's the best solution. But anyway, if you are an A5 user and a patron and you are interested in the future in having this calendar insert, let me know what style you prefer. If you would prefer it all on an A4 sheet, or if you like it being on 2 separate 8.5 by 11s that you can then cut out and paste in. So here's my calendar. I've got, the only thing I put in here is that on Wednesday night, we're going to see John Scalzi, the author of, what was his latest book called? Starter Villain. He's coming to speak at our through our local independent bookstore. So Bob and I are both really excited about going to see him because we loved Starter Villain. And I've loved a lot of his other books too. So we're very excited about going. And I have roughed in the possibility of going to the Colorado Pen Show. Jessie is trying to convince me that I must drive out and hang out with her for the weekend. So I may be going out to Colorado in a couple weeks. So that is all I have for that right now. I may sit down and walk through a little bit of my actual planning setup today, depending on how long this video gets. But I'm going to switch real quick to the pens that I chose for this month and kind of go through some of that. I picked out way more pens than I normally do just because I love October. It's my favorite month. I am one of those people who absolutely loves pumpkins, and I even like pumpkin spice lattes, and I just love, you know, falling leaves. I mean, I feel like a stereotype, but honestly, it's just, I've always loved October. Bob even proposed to me on Halloween. He carved "Will you marry me" into a pumpkin and put the ring inside. Yeah, that level nerd. It's awesome. But anyway, yes, I did say yes, by the way, clearly. So for this month, I switched cases to this purple case that I got from Jet Pens several years ago. It just seemed purple, like I'm using a lot of purples, greens, and oranges for my planner. And I don't remember who made this, but I will put a link to it. There's no branding on here. But I've had it for some time. I'm not sure if they still make these, but I really like that this is this like sort of hard shell. So it's almost like having like a little tray. And since I did pick out so many pens this time, it's nice to be able to sort of see what I've got in here. And this little pocket here is perfect for things like erasers and glue sticks and that kind of thing. So I left my ruler in there. We will get started on the pens. Oh, I also have a bone folder in here. When I fold in tip-ins and things like that, I like to have a bone folder. That one I think I've had since college. So the pens that I picked out this time was this Pilot brush. It's a dual-ended brush, but the black end is waterproof, but the gray, it's like black and gray. The gray end is not waterproof, but the color's really nice. And my black end is completely dried out, but I thought, well, I'll go ahead and use the gray for this month, and maybe I'll use it up and I can buy a new one. So that's one of them. I also put in the Faber-Castell Pitt brush pen because I like to do my headings in like a brush pen. So like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The Pilot brush is more of a cool gray, where the Pitt obviously is called warm gray. So it's a little bit warmer color. So those are, let's see, the two gray that I have. Then I had a few purples. I have, oh, I forgot one. Let's see. I have this one as well. So this is, it's not the Kakamori brand, but it's one of the other Japanese brands. I'll try to remember to put a link in. But it's one of them that has a brush tip that you can fill this section with fountain pen ink. You basically just drop it into a fountain pen ink bottle, and it will just absorb the ink, and then you can use the brush tip or marker tip, which is fun. So this one, I don't even know what color it is. I put it in so long ago that I forgot, but it's kind of a cool purpley gray color, which I thought was a very Halloween-y color. I have a Marvy Le Pen brush in Amethyst. Let's see, this one is the Statler Tripless in Lilac. This is the fine liner. Sometimes it's just nice to have a couple fine liners for like little sub headers or whatever in my planner. I always have a Pentel sign brush pen. The regular sign pens are great, but these have just a slightly flexible tip. Let me see if I can get that to focus. These have just like a slightly softer tip and are great for doing a little bit smaller scale brush lettering, as you can see here. The Marvy Le Pen brush has a little bit softer brush and ends up, my writing needs to be a little bit bigger to work. The Pentel, I can get away with a little bit smaller size writing to get it to work. For this month, okay, we'll do the oranges. Shocker, I don't have a lot of orange anything. I went to the University of Tennessee in Knoxville, so I kind of have visceral reaction to the color orange. It just reminds me too much of sports events, and I'm just not that sporty kind of human. So I tend to not acquire much in orange. It took many years for me to appreciate orange in some other context. So this is another one of those brushes that you, or markers that you can fill with fountain pen ink. I think I actually put one that had shimmer in here. The shimmer does not show, but it is a lovely color of orange. I have the swatch here. Let's see, it's this one right here. And again, I don't remember what it is. And so while I'm not getting any of the shimmer details, it's a lovely sort of rusty orange color, which I like. I do have a standard Marvy pen in orange. And then I have a Sai brush, which has a very soft tip. So the writing ends up being much bigger, but I think it's so perfectly pumpkin-y that I think I will end up using it quite a bit this month. I have a few other pens just thrown in here randomly. This is a paintbrush. I just carry a travel brush in case. So I have 2 gel pens. This is a Zebra Sarasa in like the brown black color. I have a Uniball Sino needle. It's the needle tip, so it's like pointier than the regular ones. I don't know. And usually they're sort of cone shaped, and this one is like more pointy, like a Sakura Pigma Micron in terms of that sort of super pointy end, which I really like. I threw a Micron in, and this basically lives in my bag, which is one of my favorite colors, which is a Marvy pen in olive. And then just the last couple things, I put in the Pentel Hybrid Dual Metallic. This one is the silver, and I don't know if you'll be able to see on here if it's going to catch the light, but it is like a gray color with silver metallic, and I was kind of having fun sort of highlighting the lettering up here, so I think it'll end up getting used more to like highlight other lettering because it's sparkly and fun. And this is not focusing at all, and I apologize about that. But anyway, so that is my last pen. And then I threw in 3 colored pencils just because, like I said, I don't have a lot of orange, so I thought I would go ahead and throw in a couple orange colored pencils and a purple colored pencil. And these are Prismacolor, and then this one is a Caran d'Ache Museum Aquarelle. So it's like they're water soluble, but it's their super high end. And I think this came in like a subscription box because I think I only have one, which is fine. And so these are the sort of the colors of those pencils. And I just thought it would be fun if I wanted to color something in or add highlights or accents. So those are the markers and non-fountain pens. When we get into the fountain pens, I have one of my favorites of all time, and this is it's not the Purple Cosmos. This is Stargazer, maybe is what it was called. It's many years old. It's a Sailor Pro Gear Slim, and somebody knew me well enough to be like, I think you might like this. And I said, yes, you are correct. So it's black with sort of rainbow colored sparkles in here, but they're really tiny and there's not a ton of them. So it's very subtle. And I have this filled with Monteverde Birthday Cake, which is a lovely shade of purple. And then my other pens that I added in here, let's see. This one is my Shone that sort of lives in my bag all the time. And I'm pretty sure that this just has, it has another random purple in it. And I think I was playing cartridge roulette because this is so small that it needs a cartridge or like a Coeco mini converter in order to like fill it with other things. So I tend to just cartridge roulette with it, which is basically I throw cartridges in a drawer and I just grab one and that's the color I'm using. But this ended up being a sort of more of a smoky purple color. So I feel like it'll be perfect for this month. I inked up what feels like an appropriately Halloween-y pen. This is something that I think Jesse talked me into buying, which I'm embarrassed to say. It is a replica of a Mont Blanc. I think it's the Metamorphosis. It's got the spider web up here, but this was made by I don't even know which company, but found it on eBay. So it's a knockoff, I admit it, but I can't afford Mont Blanc pens. So it looks very, very similar. I do have one of the Mont Blanc Rouge et Noir that has a very similar look, but I thought I would play with this one. It just has a nice, what does it say? Oh, it's Moon Man, I think, is what it says on the nib. But they even engraved the nib with the little spider, and it's fine. And I put Papier Plume's Sazerac in here. So, and that's this sort of warm orange color. Is this focusing? Focus. Maybe. Okay. But yeah, so that's the Sazerac. And then the last one is my Cuico Sport, which now is very ghosty for the Halloween season. And it has the Robert Oster Campfire, which came from, I believe, Fiden's Pens. It was a limited edition color. And it's this lovely, almost like whiskey orange color. So you like might ignore this swatch. This was me debating whether or not to use this particular color, and I decided it was too yellow. Actually, the Spanish orange is a little too yellow for me right now anyway, but I figured I could use that as a highlight or accent color. So those are the pens that I chose for this month. I do still have my Pro Color with Cuico, is it Cocoa Brown? It's just the Cuico Brown color. And I figure in a pinch, if I run out of ink or whatever, it's a good backup pen. And brown is perfectly acceptable for the spooky season. So those are the pens that I'm using. And they are all tucked, except for the Sailor Pro Gear, which goes in the pen loop that I attached to the back. It's just one of those like Leuchtturm adhesive pen loops. The rest of them all live in my Galen case. This is the 3-pen case, which I jam more than 3 pens in every time. So those are the pens and ink that I'm using. I'm going to pause for a minute and then we'll get into the decorative elements. Okay, so these are the decorative elements that I picked out, the washi tape, stickers, and stamps that I plan on using this month. First off, the Mystical Ephemera book from, I believe this is Peter Popper, at list for $11. This is all just, you know, ghosts and goblins and witchy and, you know, apothecary and the whole thing. Some astrological, so totally. Usually I pull pages out, but this one is so specifically Halloween-y that I figured I will just sort of peel stickers as I need them from this book. There's 900 stickers in here, so more than I will possibly need. So that's first item. I'm using one of the sticky envelopes to store the rest of my loose ephemera that I'll be using this month, because it was just a nice way to contain everything. So, of course, first and foremost, I'll be using my own stickers because, darn it, I made them and I want to use them. So these are my autumnal avians available in my shop. The Apothecary Arcanum, Mushroom Forager, Halloween Icons, Fall Florals, and Peak Floor Foliage, which got a little bit of use in September. So I have a few left and I will finish off these sheets for this month. Then I also have a bunch of sheets from Sticky, the Sticky Club that I have been collecting. I have a few left over from what I used in September from this collection, and a mushroom collection. some moths, I have green leaves, and then I also have dark leaves. This one, which I don't know if you guys can see real clearly, but it's like little monsters, and I love that it looks like a, I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if I flip this over. There you go. This little werewolf making tea, and it's like a little ghosty making a roasted marshmallow. Super cute. So I'm very excited to get to use those. I have these like page divider, like page tabs with little moons on them. This sheet, which I liked so much, I bought 2 of them, which are just cats and skulls. Why not? And then I have these. I'm not sure if I'll end up using these. They're pretty colorful and really cute. I almost might save these for spring, but they're little ghosts sort of traveling, and they look like little postage stamps, which I thought was really sweet. And then these, which are kind of fun and playful. And then let's see, what else have I got? This is one of the AM paper and art that I'm selling in the shop. This is the Enchanted sheet, which I started using already. Here's another one that's sort of spooky coffee, which is perfect and fun. I found this sheet that was from Pip Sticks from probably years ago. It looks like it's a sort of a washi kind of sticker paper, and it's got like gold foil hands and little moons and stuff. So I thought maybe that one would get some use. So then I have some loose stickers from my various collections that I've bought over the years on Amazon and Etsy and what have you. So I pulled a few of those out. And of course, my date stickers that are on the washi paper that I got on Amazon. There are always links for these, and there have been links in the past for these. It was a set of 12 for less than $10. So I really like those. It just makes my job easier. Like one less thing that I have to try to figure out how I'm going to style and look. And now my whole planner looks consistent because I've used them all year. So I do recommend them. So, and these are some of those loose stickers. These are like a washi one. And I'll try to find links for most of these. And I've probably posted them in the past. So if they're not in this video, they will be in a future video or in a past video. So for stamps, I will of course use the Unfamiliars from the Well-Appointed Desk. That's me. And these will be fun. I love this crow on the ink bottle. And I realize this is, I know I'm promoting my own stuff and I apologize, but I have been waiting for October to roll around so that I can use these every flipping day. Very excited about that. And then I found this sheet online. I think this came from Amazon, and I don't know what the quality of this one is, but it was just like fun Halloween-y, you know, little witches hats and, you know, stacks of books and what have you. So I thought this might be fun to add in. So we'll see. They were super, super cheap. And I've heard that when you buy super, super cheap clear stamps like this, the quality is often terrible. So we will see. I'll let you know. And then the last is this one came from Sticky Club. So it's little skulls, skull flowers. And I have this moon one that, or this moon moth, Luna moth that I used last month that I'll probably reuse. There's some moons. These are from the My Icon stamp sets from Jet Pens. And then I also have the Wildflowers one that I used last month too, which I really like because they're super tiny. So they're really nice to sort of fill in if I need a little something extra. And of course, stamp block to make all those work. I just have 2 stamp inks that I'm going to use, Archival Wild Honey and Black Soot, and these are both from the sets of 4 that I sell on the in the shop. They're probably from 2 different sets. I apologize. But you know, you got to combine them to make them work. Oh, and I found this floating around in one of my drawers, and I just thought it was really cute. So I threw it in here, figured maybe I'll use it once or twice. But yeah, and the last thing the washi. We love the washi tape. So I had this little piece of cloth, which I was like, why haven't I never done this before? But this just keeps them all together and not falling in the bottom of my drawer. So this is probably, once again, more washi tape than I probably need for the month. But, you know, options. And I had a lot to choose from. So this is the Apothecary bookshelf from Creeping Moon, which is also available in my shop. This is the, I believe it's called Moths. That is, I think her name is Shelley Cuvion, also in my shop. Branches, Creeping Moon. And then these other ones, these two came from a set that I got on Amazon. More paper tape than washi, I think. And then these last 4 rolls is just to add some color and texture. And again, I rest my case. I don't have a lot of orange anything, but I did have this orange plaid, which I thought was really cute. And then some lime greens and black. And these I've had for years. I actually had to throw one away because the adhesive was sticking to the front of the tape, not the back of the tape anymore. So if you have a mess of washi tape, use it, because it will not last forever. Eventually that adhesive will start to degrade, and so it's better to just use it up and get that enjoyment out of it. I know we hold on to these things for a long time because we think, I don't want to waste it, but eventually you'll end up just throwing it away because it's degraded. And these were 2 more that came from like weird Amazon sets. This one just has all sorts of like astrological kind of symbolism on it. And I think this one has sort of, I think it's supposed to be tarot cards, but I can't tell. I haven't unrolled it yet. So we might play around with these. So that's everything in my set. It's obviously a larger set than I normally use. Lots and lots of things, lots of pens, but I'm very excited to get to play for the Halloween season. This is the first year that I'm not in the midst of working on Christmas in product development for some other job, so I can actually enjoy for a little bit Halloween and October without actually being in the midst of Christmas all the time, which is sort of what my job for years was. So very excited. I will maybe do my plan with me video separately, so if you just wanted to see the setup and the tools that I'm using, you do not have to sit through another 25-minute video of me just randomly planning. But you know, I tend to put, you know, some nice music behind it, so maybe we'll have some spooky music and you can grab a cup of coffee or tea or, you know, chai or pumpkin spice and come back and join me as I actually set up a few days of my planner. So thanks again so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful October spooky season, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.